So humanoids, one of the most complex robotics challenges out there. So you think about really robotics needs to be this harmony between the software and the hardware for every individual element. And you need them to be able to understand and work together in concert. And humanoids are adding so many axes and degrees of freedom. And then you're throwing them in highly dynamic environments with like very unscripted and open-ended. So it's extreme. It's robotics on hard mode. That's
super hard mode.
So we believe in the ability for people to build these in a platform where people will experiment in them. I right now hesitate to jump in on humanoids. We haven't backed a humanoid company yet. And a lot of that is derived from what I was telling you before, but one of the key metrics we look at, which is your value creation multiple. If you want to create a lot of value for your customer, it's super low, right? Right now, they're expensive, they're unreliable, and
they don't do that much too.
And they don't do that much.
Yeah.
So it's hard to create a value creation metric. So when we're trying to be principled right now, when we look at it, we're saying, okay, we still think verticalized robotics platforms are, I mean, they are what has been taking the majority of the funding, but we think they'll continue to do that in the interim. Now, I do expect there'll be some kind of hybrid that has more generalized capability and intelligence, but isn't quite at the full humanoid level. So maybe beyond just moving apart from A to B, it'll move from A to B and package it and sort it, that sort of thing. So I think it'll
just have a mobile base with one arm for that.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't need to be humanoid, which right now still very hard to do. But I do believe that the cost of humanoids, the challenge of humanoids will come down. I just think we're still a few years out.
Do you have any guess on the timeline? Like, is it 5 year? Is it 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15, whatever you think?
You know, a year
it's hard to
ago,
predict.
It's hard to predict. A year ago, I would have told you, that we were probably, maybe 2 years ago, I would have told you we're 10 years out. But even within the last couple of years, the breakthroughs for robotics, for embodied intelligence, as they call it, which is AI for robots, have been dramatic. And you see skill, you see physical intelligence, you see efforts at NVIDIA for Project Group, you see World Labs, all these efforts to say, hey, how can we dramatically scale up the training data, make the AI systems robust such that robots can learn very fast. And I guess actually Google's RT2, RTX models were some of the progenitors of all of this and kicked it off. So
so much good work came out of Google for all this. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And they're still doing it. And the DeepMind folks, I mean, really blown away. But I guess what does that say? In the last 12, 18 months, we have seen more innovation in robotics AI than we have in the last 5 or 10 years. So whereas 2 years ago, I probably would have told you 10 years out, I probably think we're probably 5 years out. Now, before we see a humanoid doing something useful.
That's a pretty low bar for that. That's pretty funny. Like the big build up to be like something useful.
Something useful. By useful, I mean creating more value than it costs.